We're recording. We're away, folks.
Roughly
Hello!
Yay!
It's another Stories from the Smoke Room. It's the lock-in version where anything can happen in a lock-in. And you may notice there's usually 5 of us, but there's not tonight. Look, there's 6. It's all symmetrical.
It's pleasingly symmetrical.
And that's because,
It's
ladies
all
and
really
gentlemen,
nice.
over there, in my screen, over there, right in that far corner, it's Rob Kemp, ladies and gentlemen! Yay!
Nobody knows what that means.
Yay!
It means nothing except to my mum.
It does mean something, Rob, because tell the audience of 8 people.
10. I've got 10 on mine.
Oh, 10. Tell the audience what you are famous for, because you are famous for something.
Famous for making the best cup of tea in the West Midlands.
No, you're not. No, you're not,
West
Rob. Come
Midlands,
on.
Best Midlands.
Come on. Stop being all modest. Come on. Tell the people about your show.
I'm famous for closing doors really loudly. When did we start recording?
Rob, fucking take it seriously.
Okay. Oh, is that all right? If we're taking it seriously, is that what this is?
Sort it out, Rob.
No, you take it seriously at your peril, sir. At your peril.
I many years ago had a small amount of joy with a show called Elvis Dead, which was a mashup of Elvis songs and the movie Evil Dead 2. Yeah, it's mental. Yes,
Yeah,
it's
2.
niche. But apparently there were enough people that liked that idea to keep me out of office work for a year or 2.
I've got a
And now
photo of you
I can't do it
chainsaw in my
anywhere.
throat.
Ooh.
Do it now. Do it now.
Yeah, Rob, do it now.
Okay, give me a minute.
You can do it on Twitch, actually, because Twitch have a massive disregard for copyright. So,
Cool. Totally could do it.
Yeah, totally, absolutely. But we haven't got you on to do Elvis Dead tonight, Rob. As you know, we usually do stories.
Have we?
So, sorry, Adam, do you want to go? So we've asked.
Yeah.
I
a
have
little bit.
something. What?
So we've asked you here to tell us a story, Rob. So what are you going to tell us a story about?
I'm going to tell you a story about a time that I got lost on the way somewhere.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't.
So mysterious.
The level of intrigue.
Hey! So
The show.
yeah, so what Adam is holding up there is, for people who don't know, when people tend to do
I think they give no context.
yeah, when people tend to do musical shows, they're wrapped in cotton wool, really, by the producers, aren't they? But when you're Rob Kemp doing a musical show 28 times in a month in Edinburgh, where
You end up with purple hips.
you end up with purple hips, and you also
Rolling elbows.
Story.
you also
Is that the B side of Purple Rain?
And we've
No,
found the level for the evening.
No, it's an Elvis show. It was the B-side to Blue Suede Shoes.
See what you did there. Two together, that'd be funny.
God's sake, this is chaos already.
I'm proud of all of us.
6 is too many, isn't it?
It's definitely too many.
Too many. Who's got hands up? Who's got a headache?
I will do.
Now, what Rob used to do after the show was say, if you want to have a photo taken with me and the chainsaw, and why wouldn't you?
No, that's not fair. Misrepresentation.
Oh, go on then.
No, what used to happen was I'd say, if you want to have a photo wearing the chainsaw,
Oh.
and why wouldn't you, then do that. But I just happened to be near it, so that it didn't get stolen. And then people were saying like, "Oh, have a photo." There's another one. There's another one.
My God.
Well, what I've learned is everyone has a photo of them being killed by Rob Kemp.
Apart from my daughter, who has a photo of her killing Rob Kemp.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
There must be one. There can only be one.
That the limited edition one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, come on then, Rob. Tell us a story, ladies and gentlemen. Rob Kemp.
Yay!
Oh wow! I thought you were going to ease me in. I thought we were.
No, mate.
That was what that was.
That'll be like proper.
Right. Been going on 5 minutes,
I,
Rob.
I haven't
Fucking get on with it.
I haven't actually prepared this insofar as
We don't
written it
prepare
down. Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's fine. Good.
We've prepared nothing.
Does everyone else improvise so much?
I've wrote ideas. Sorry, I'm with Rob talk.
No, you're all right. Isn't this what it is? Isn't it?
Yeah.
I normally write down bullet points on a bit of paper and then forget that I've written bullet points down and go, oh yeah, after we've stopped. That's how I do it.
Yeah.
Six
I
is
just
definitely
remember something to happen.
I would like to start my story with the public service announcement. Don't do drugs, kids.
Oh, it's a drug story.
Let's just
drink
winners don't use drugs.
Don't do drugs. Me and some friends were going in convoy on the way to the Leeds festival. I think it was like 2000, 2001. It was.
Who was on?
I can't remember because we went for because of all the drugs. No, that's not true. No, I can't remember because we went for a few years in a row, and I can't remember which one specifically this was.
Okay.
So, well, yeah, we were in a convoy on the way to the Leeds Festival, and the reason that we were in convoy is because I was not. It was pre-sat nav, and I was not confident enough to lead the convoy. To lead the route, so I was in the back. I was in the back of this convoy, following Daz, who was in his estate vehicle, like a white sort of van affair. It wasn't, but it was a long estate car, you know.
Yeah.
And
did Dan have everything?
Daz, no, it wasn't. It wasn't like a work van. Or was it his work van? I forget now.
No, but
anyway.
You know when people go camping in estate cars, they have everything in the estate car, don't they? It's not camping. They're literally moving house.
Yeah.
It's very comfortable. He got all the things. Camping is not
in an estate car. We've got the long Volvo.
Excuse me, my dad used to drive an estate car.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
And he's not a Tory.
Yeah. He's a man of the people.
He
does have a statue to him.
Hate to break it to you,
like a
folks.
good statue, not like a needs to be torn down because of history statue.
I give it 30 years.
We'll find out his skeletons.
Next story, I'll tell you all the reasons.
His skeletons are inside the statue.
Oh, what a reveal! Oh, a house of wax.
Yes, skeleton.
Throw him in the harbour and it all melts off. Okay, no, carry on.
Anyway, in my car, the car that apparently quickly became the party car.
It's
One
what they
of
call
my
a wheelchair.
Oh my god.
Please tell me you've got like hydraulics in it and you can
No, but it does recline just on like a 45-degree angle. So.
I'll put neons on your chair.
Yeah.
I just got this
putting
vision.
neons
I've just got this
on
vision
your
of
chair.
Mikey going down the street with his bass thumping out the chair, and he just goes, "What up, bitches?"
Pull it up to life
Onto
like
the party
revving.
car.
That and the button that controls the speed makes the bouncy noises at the start of Saturday Night by Wingfield. Makes those noises.
He does.
True story.
the version I've heard starts with "din-na-na-na,"
Yeah,
that's.
and I love the idea that you're driving along going "din-na-na-na, din-na-na-na."
Yeah.
You know the bouncy bits on the bass line. Those. Exactly. Yeah.
He does.
Anyway, as you were.
I was being willfully pedantic, Michael. That's all. benefit of comedy. That's all I was doing.
Classic Kemp.
I do know. I knew exactly what you were talking about. Don't let that get in the way of tripping you up a little bit. Oh, how's that? So we're in the party car.
That causes problems.
We're in the party car. Although I didn't know it was going to be the party car until one of the passengers. One of the passengers.
That's a different level of responsibility. You're now implicit in the story.
One of the passengers started skinning up, and I was like, oh, what's happening? I was like, okay, fine, you carry on. I'm not going to judge because I've been in places where drugs have occurred.
I've seen a drug before.
I too am cool.
Drugs, my favourite.
Keep one drugs, please.
And so this I believe it's called a joint.
Is that one of your smoking joints?
Oh man!
And it got rolled.
Skinned up in a car,
a moving car on the motorway.
That's kind of impressive.
Because it would have been acceptable in a stationary car.
No,
I wasn't saying that as a acceptability issue. I was saying skill.
Yeah, absolutely skill. Because Rob,
as we all know, as a man with lacking in fine motor skill, that's quite. I can imagine that's quite. I can't roll a regular cigarette with apparently motor skills. What I apparently have, I can't do it. So I mean, and this guy was doing it in a car, moving as we go. Hang on, hello. Yeah, all right, sure. Why not?
Who was that?
That was Ben.
Hi, Ben.
I live with Ben.
Hi, Ben.
Could you hear what he said?
Hi, Ben.
No.
Oh, good.
Oh, okay.
He was asking me if I want.
Ben.
He was saying, "Do you want a joint?" yeah, I still do. Yeah.
It's like you summoned him with the word. He's looking around like, quick.
He's now like, and my friend was rolling large sheets of gold. I would like some.
He came up and he said, "My stoner sense was tingling. I think you need me."
Stoner sense would be like, what?
I'm going around the shops to get some crisps. Do you want anything? None of this is true. None of this is true. The thing I'm saying is true. Anyway, so I was in the car and this joint rolled, and this joint then got smoked in said car.
Oh, what?
Were you passively smoking one of those weeds?
I was the driver, and it was being passed around in the car, and I feel like I may have been affected by the contents.
Because of course the windows were closed.
I mean,
don't let any of it get out.
And he's on the M1 doing 7 miles an hour.
Well, yeah. I mean, you don't want. I mean, you don't want your windows open when you're going fast, do you? Because you get that sort of, you know, the weird stuff that makes you sick in your inner ear.
And that's worse than the alternative.
What?
That's what
just getting high.
In
a car at 70. That's slight annoying sound.
There's no evidence of me having gotten high from the secondhand smoke so far in the story.
Is that just in case someone from Twitch is like, "What's happening in this chat?"
So that felt like a Chekhov's gun moment. Carry on.
So we were driving along the motorway.
Adam, Tory sign.
No, that's a theatre term. I'm not going to bring it up.
Worth a shot.
Tories don't like theatre, evidently.
No, it allows free speech, and they often are mean to us.
So we were going down the motorway, and I didn't really know where I was going. I just trusted Daz knew where he was going, and then after a little while, Daz indicated to get off the motorway. So I followed Daz off the motorway. And then as we were negotiating some A roads, some other vehicles got in the way, and I was starting to get a bit antsy about us being panicked, but I get a bit antsy about being separated.
Would you describe yourself
and then,
paranoid?
yeah, I was a bit worried for some reason. And hungry. and we were just all of a sudden I was like, I don't feel like we're in Leeds yet. This feels too soon. I can't imagine we've arrived in Leeds, and yet we're doing A roads. Maybe he knows of some incident that's occurred, or maybe they're out to get me.
Oh, God.
And then I was just following him around all these weavy roads until eventually Darren pulls up onto an industrial estate, and pulls up, turns his engine off, and gets out of the car, and it's not Darren.
Oh, shit.
Oh no!
Oh, my God.
So
You
I
had to have a fight.
So I was like, we got to get out of here quickly now. That's not. Does anyone have Darren's phone number? Somebody call Darren.
You've basically been following the wrong car.
Yes.
A car chase,
and
an
that
industrial
person-
estate.
Like a slow
A car chase on an industrial estate is every British gangster film ever.
Yeah.
Guy Ritchie's going, we haven't covered this one.
And also the guy you followed thinks you followed him off the motorway all that way.
Like, quick. And I mean, he wasn't driving erratically. He wasn't swerving. He wasn't taking sudden turns. I think he only twigged just as we were going onto the industrial estate.
Oh my God.
Because he did get out of his car, and he came to start walking over, and this is like 20 years ago, and I wasn't the obviously very well-adjusted, confident man that I am now. So I quickly reversed and left the industrial estate. Let's get out of here, and pulled off the industrial estate and back onto the road, far enough away to get away from what could have been a dangerous encounter. I don't know. He could have been a lovely man, but he could also have been fighty.
That's not an adjective we want at this point.
No. I was feeling quite calm. Generally relaxed. Generally relaxed. No, I wasn't. So I left as quickly as I could.
Can we have a little bit of empathy for the guy in the car you mistakenly followed, who was being followed down the road by this drug car with all this smoke piling out?
Oh my God! Yeah, from his perspective, he's being chased by this car which is just full of smoke that the Grim Reaper would definitely drive.
No, mate. It was a silver
Could we get him on
Peugeot.
next week?
It was a silver Peugeot.
yeah.
The Grim Reaper has had some.
Are you that man? Do you want to come on in a fortnight?
Are you that man?
I think that this would have come up. It might have come up at some point. So then, what we did was, once we were there, one of the participants called. Not Darren, he was driving, obviously. He was doing his drugs. And
snorting off the dashboard.
Called, I think he was probably Ben in the other car, to find out, where are you? Oh my God, where are you? We're on an industrial estate. And then we quickly sort of found out where they were, got back on the motorway, and they were on a services because they knew they'd lost us. And then we pulled on. And they said, "Oh, okay, there you are. We've had a cup of tea. Everything's fine. Don't you worry. Let's go." And then, as we were pulling off of the services, I noticed in the back of Darren's car, they'd stuck a sign that read, "This is the car."
That's really nice of them.
That's so lovely.
Oh,
It's
that's
like-
adorable.
Like even in 2000, they're still thinking about access requirements. It's so beautiful.
I did the sort of sad aspect of that story is I wanted to die.
I wanted the earth to swallow me up whole for the whole weekend because I felt I've screwed up, and that is this cardinal sin, and I'm going to be mercilessly. Don't show weakness, Rob. Don't ever show weakness. They will destroy you.
And were they real friends and never mentioned it again, or did you?
Were they actual friends and mentioned it daily?
Yeah,
they're real friends, and it comes up every now and again.
Friends. When you go round to his house, does he put a sign in the window saying "This is the how"? Because that's what I would do.
What I remember now about the real annoying thing about it is the guy whose car I followed didn't have a rear window.
Oh.
Like it was like one of those metal ones where it was just covered because it was a van. And I didn't notice that.
Just happily like, yeah.
In fact, it was a red car.
Definitely him, no.
Am I the only one really worried that he might have been really cold?
No, it was metal. It wasn't a hole.
It wasn't just an empty,
broken.
Just a bit of chicken wire stretched across it. That'll do.
No wonder he was so nervous being followed if people are smashing in his windscreens.
Yeah. He's there like, not again.
You can't do another window. No.
In this drive to the industrial estate, how many joints were passed around in the car?
I don't remember.
Okay.
In my head, you're looking over and it's a joint, and then you're driving back. You're looking back over, he's got like a bong, and you're like, what? Look back over, and he's just like drowning in nuggets. Like, what?
I mean, I wasn't going to partake, so I just had some cake that they'd kindly made. That's not true. That's not true.
No, that'd be terrible. That would be.
I mean, it tasted like a regular brownie, but it was sort of gritty. He says,
the Dutch style.
Hadn't quite got the texture correct.
It's like Hannah's picnic from Mablethorpe a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, full of sand.
Mary Berry would not approve.
See, I would.
If she had enough to try of it, maybe she would.
I would fucking love it. If someone's like,
if you covered it in rum, she'd like it.
If someone's like special bake on Bake Off just contained 4 ounces of weed, it'd be just like, this soggy bottom.
It would just be 2 hours of Mary Berry saying claggy over and over again.
It's Noel Fielding's like, whoa. There's no difference. He's just like,
it's not a good bake, but I want this one to win.
I'll tell you what's a good bake. Me.
Hey!
Did anyone see that documentary where Jon Snow got high?
No.
Which one? Game of Thrones or?
Yeah, Jon Snow.
I saw someone share a link on the social medias, but I didn't follow it. Great story, Rob. No, what I mean is Michael. Actually, not Michael. What I mean is Michael and everyone else. But I'm aware of it. Is what I mean. I'm aware of it. Right. I can add no more. Here endeth my participation in this conversation. I'm sure it is good.
Was this episode
cooking with?
Was this episode?
Mary Stewart. Is it Mary? Yeah.
I'm just gonna put my light on.
Was this episode where Jon Snow was getting stoned in Rob's car?
No, but I sort of want to see that.
Martha Stewart.
Yeah,
I'm here in Rob's car, following a very strange van. We seem to be pulling onto an industrial estate. Give me the car, Rob! Give me the car! It's not
it's the wrong guy! He's got a hook for a hand! He knows what we did!
Like carpool karaoke, but with narcotics.
Oh, that would make that show so much better.
In the chat, John T has put Death Drives a Peugeot sounds like a cracking script title. Which
It really does, though.
And can I just ask, Rob, was this the car that you were driving when I first met you?
Yes.
That car was
Tell us this
fucked.
story.
Eventually, yeah, because of all of the scrapes and car chases. Oh yeah, carpool karaoke. I was trying to follow a van, etc., etc.
Oh, where's Adam gone?
Oh,
Adam.
Oh no!
Apparently,
Drama.
carpool karaoke was just not for him.
it was a step too far.
I shall not countenance this.
John's also mentioned Chekhov's joint because we were talking about theatre. Yeah, Chekhov's joint. If you mention a joint in a car, you must smoke it.
Yeah, exactly. I think what probably happened was like in a play involves that if they show one, they're gonna smoke it, and then the play ends with everyone hanging around chatting about the play eating crisps.
Yeah.
Right?
Very meta. Oh,
Yeah.
Adam, what are you doing? Adam's faffing. Adam, what
Hey.
are you doing?
Hey!
Faffing, I was suffering with connectivity issues.
Is that your story?
Is that the same as noisy door closing?
Yeah, I just disconnected to have a massive fart, and I was like, might as well come back then.
I had to step out because of connectivity issues.
Oh, flatulence.
Clip that, John.
gas.
Clip it.
Some gas coming out of a bum.
Clip that, John. Yeah, definitely.
Not just any gas, fart gas.
How did we sink this low in less than half an hour?
You're welcome. We're all to blame. Let's not pretend it was one of us.
So is that your story then, Rob, or is there more to the weekend?
I mean, that feels a little bit like you're calling me out on the quality of my story, Dave.
Oh, I don't mean to be calling him. No, I'm just thinking, Rob. I've been to festivals with you. I know fun things happen.
What I'm saying is that's the story I'm prepared to tell you. This
Story he's prepared to have on the internet. What the hell's happened at festivals when you've been there?
Yeah.
To be
I've
fair,
not been to many festivals.
No.
I've not been to many festivals, but what I can tell you is wheelchair accessible portaloos are in no way wheelchair accessible.
No.
Oh,
I can imagine.
I can imagine that is awful, actually, because the toilets are so bad.
Yeah. Imagine Tetris, but you are the bricks.
Oh my god.
Did you disappear? Is that what you're
You
saying?
are the bricks.
Well, I mean,
Did you, like-
let's just say I needed severe physical. I needed a lot of physio afterwards.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah, it's a memory. It will be a chapter in the book.
Oh.
When the last festival I went to, I witnessed a girl attempt to impress a group of black. And when I say a girl, I don't mean me. It wasn't.
I knew of somebody not connected to me.
Yeah, there was this girl, bless her heart, and you can tell it wasn't me. She was wearing Daisy Dukes. Now, that's a choice in Steph's closet.
Just for a moment, imagine the Daisy Duke.
What's going on?
Sorry, I have connectivity issues.
You were saying, Rob?
Just for a second, imagine that the Daisy Dukes are is Cockney rhyming slang for an item of clothing. What is it?
I did not sign up for a cryptic crossword.
So just like regular. It wasn't Cockney rhyming slang.
No.
Okay, fair enough.
It was just teeny tiny shorts. And this girl,
That's going to bother me. I'm going to think
I
about
remember
it.
George Ezra was playing. He was on stage. He was very good. No one listened because it had started to rain. And as you know, in a field where lots of feet are going tip tap tipper tapper, it becomes mud.
What did the feet do? Sorry. Continue.
I'm glad we cleared that up. And so all the lads decided, I'm gonna express my masculinity by doing a stunt. And so they were all lining up beer bottles and then playing skittles with themselves as the ball through the mud. It was glorious. Everyone, unfortunately, George Ezra was like singing about Budapest, and everyone had slowly turned around to look at like these guys playing skittles. Poor George Ezra.
That must be a really weird performing experience. Just see everyone at once go.
That was exactly what it looked like. But this
I wish
girl,
the wheelchair platforms were. I wish the wheelchair platforms were that exciting. The wheelchair platforms, just sort of people trying to subtly outdo each other with their driving skills.
Yeah. Grand Theft Auto.
Look at the gap I can reverse through. I've never been. Yeah, I've never felt so judged.
Oh my god, the rivalry.
I would play that game.
Listen to the
So
sound
much.
my wheelchair makes when it boots up.
No.
my favourite George Ezra festival moment didn't happen, but I really wish it had.
Please explain, Rob.
No, Rob, leave it there. Just leave it there, Rob.
I saw George Ezra at Glastonbury last year, right? And he at one point in the set he paused after a song and he said Glastonbury, and I really wanted everybody in the crowd to respond. Yes, George Ezra. and it gave me so much joy to imagine that happening. Like Glastonbury.
I'm guessing.
Yes, George Ezra.
I'm guessing.
And it didn't happen.
I'm guessing at least one person shouted that, Robert.
I just have this image of a whole crowd going, woo! And you going, yes, George Ezra. What can I do you for?
You know when you're in a crowd and you're there starting a or you think everyone's going to join in around you. That was what.
No one does.
Yes, George. It's the logical response, guys. Glastonbury. No, hang on. Let me just try this, Dave.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes, George Ezra.
Yes, George Ezra.
Do you know what I mean? Heard you shout, Rob, and was like, "That was the response." Correct. Someone with manners.
So, you ignorant pricks, all just going, "Way!"
A 16-year career, and finally someone has answered correctly. I can retire now. Just walked off.
To be fair, I haven't heard from him in a while, like music.
Yeah, right.
And why was that? Did you answer him when he asked you? I've been inundated with albums. I wish he'd fuck off.
He's like you two, they keep just turning up.
Jesus Christ, George Ezra, you're seeming a bit needy, to be honest.
That was so funny when you two were like...
If we mentioned him in the tweet, do you reckon he'd watch this if we mentioned him in the tweet?
Oh,
maybe if he's
George Ezra Rob Kemp special.
I'll try and get a clip of Rob doing his George Ezra bit, and we'll send it to him. We'll see what happens.
Then do that. Why would you do that?
Because your friend, Rob, your friend,
your close personal friend.
Yeah, but he knows it. It's going to seem weird if he suddenly gets reminded of how we met and that.
Yeah.
Like we're cool now. Don't make it weird.
It was cute at first, but now Rob's name dropping.
In 2 weeks' time, you can come back on. You can come back on in 2 weeks' time, and then it'll be like this is your life, or like documentary.
Can I just say, right? Christmas last year.
Have you got a George Ezra story?
No. I've got a Rob shouting out in public story.
Oh, Excellent.
I know what this is.
That's a whole subgenre.
Christmas last year, right? The last 2 years, in fact. PPP, of which I am a member, had our Christmas party at the wrestling at Darlaston Town Hall, right? And it's like, like the Saturday afternoon wrestling.
Yes.
It's like that sort of stuff, and it's brilliant. And I don't mean that ironically. It's brilliant, isn't it, Rob? It's a fantastic event.
I'm not going to lie, I did go ironically in the first instance, but I soon got swept into it.
Yep, I've had that. I went to Wrestling Resurgence like 6 months ago and was like, because it was at where I work, and I was like, this'll be a laugh. Kill him!
It was brilliant.
Sadly, going ironically and then getting swept into it is also how my love of Chaz and Dave became a real thing. I went along in a waistcoat and a flat cap, ready to go. Oh, this will be a bit of a cheeky laugh. No, it was amazing.
You don't go into Chaz and Dave ironically. No one does.
So there was a point where two wrestlers were having their match, and one of them had a leather jacket on. And from behind me,
he was the baddie. Was he the baddie?
Because
The heel, Hannah. The heel.
The heel.
Sorry,
It was
yeah.
the heel.
me and Rob,
The heel and the face.
me and Rob didn't go together. We went in two separate parties. But you were sitting behind
Was
me.
he
weren't you,
following you in the car?
Rob? He wouldn't have got that.
I managed to find it. We were sort of. I was. If you were on the right, I was sort of on the across an aisle on the left, a couple of rows back.
Oh, right, yeah.
Fortunately,
Well, it's
fortunately,
like a progressive
Darlaston Town
Greece.
Hall. Yeah, fortunately, Darlaston Town Hall is on an industrial estate, so he got there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm a gobshite, so he could still hear me.
But during a particularly nasty manoeuvre that this heel did, I heard Rob shout from behind me, "Your jacket is anachronistic!" And I was like, "That's Rob."
I was just getting into it, wasn't I?
You were getting into it. It was
Your
amazing.
jacket's anachronistic. Your jacket's
Oh my god. I'm going to start
I
yelling at
know.
people.
I couldn't do anything for about 5 minutes. I was just brilliant. All these people going.
Yeah, what he said. Yeah.
The wrestling I saw, the main event was this. Literally, he's billed as like a ballet dancer, Carla Noir, and the guy he was fighting, I can't remember his name, but he's like billed as a public school Tory pretty much, and he's just a dick and he hates the arts. And as he came out, one guy went, "I don't like you." But it was completely silent. I don't like you. It was so sweet.
The first year we went, you were on the other side that year, weren't you, Rob? And again, we kind of bumped into each other, not knowing we were both going to the same event.
It's like a silent agreement between you, like, I'll see you at Christmas at the wrestling.
They both just nod
so
and walk away.
But
It's a sort of the first one of us that doesn't go to the wrestling gets the Swiss paintings.
Ooh.
Hellfish.
they had this.
You know, in like Peaky Blinders, when every series always culminates in like a boxing match.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah. It's your end of season finale.
Yeah.
I've seen Peaky Blinders. Go for it.
Yeah. That was,
I'm happy to talk about Peaky Blinders.
that was just it.
But we have now Steph as an expert if we need her.
Yes.
Mike, what are you
Can
doing?
we cross over to our Peaky Blinders correspondent?
I'll drop me drink.
Oh God,
I'll
Mike.
drop me drink.
Yeah. Connectivity issues, I reckon.
Connectivity issues.
Yeah, Rob was on the other side of this town hall, and the wrestling match they had on was 4 guys that were kind of like late teens.
4 guys, one ring. Yeah.
One ring. And then what they did was they had big poles in the corners and ropes going in, so they crossed over in the middle. Yeah. and the belt was hanging from the middle. So the idea was the winner was the first person to get the belt.
Yeah.
And there was one of the wrestlers. It turns out his name's Cam, and he's kind of big. He's got a lot of bulk to him. He looks a little bit like Billy Bunter. And he
what a reference.
Right, but
none of the kids know what that is.
But he
although from the alliteration of the name and general sound of it, I think they can guess.
Context, please. Yeah, got it.
He's brilliant, and like that year, he stole the show. He rode every punch to perfection. He was hilarious, but there was this one bit. He gets on the roll, or gets onto the corner, and he starts climbing the pole, and then he grips on as though he's really scared. Right? So all the audience start going, "You're scared of heights! You're scared of heights!" So he gets down and runs off. Right? He comes back with a stepladder. Right? Starts fighting with a stepladder, and of course he gets it gets twisted on him, and then the person uses the stepladder and wins. And isn't it wonderful? Turned out Steve, another.
You're the worst wrestling commentator who's ever existed.
No. Hold on. Steve, who's one of the other PPPs, we had so much fun there.
Stands for Personal Pan Pizza. Pizza Hut. Carry on.
He did a project with the wrestling group, right? So last Christmas was the culmination of that project, and he interviewed Cam. And he asked him about it, and it was like, it wasn't planned. The whole stepladder thing wasn't planned.
Oh, no.
As he came out, he saw these stepladders and thought, I'm using them.
I'm doing that, yeah. And
it was all improvised, and it was like,
oh my God.
Fucking hell, they're really on the... And you get them, there was some of the young guns that was having people shouting things out from the audience, and it was like heckling at a comedy club. They were coming back with put downs, and it's like people who think it's all fake, they don't get it. It's
So what you're saying is that next time somebody shouts at me, "Your shit, get off," I should go and get a stepladder
and just give them
a German.
Just get on the dock thing and go, "Come on, here and say that to my face."
Yeah. Imagine Rob on a stepladder.
Pull off my. There aren't venues tall enough. Pull off my quick release T-shirt to reveal my leotard that I always wear.
For reasons.
For reasons. 2020, mate.
When I watched it, it was so because the main fight, one of the main fights was this really, really athletic, like tiny girl, whose name I've forgotten, versus this, and she was like, I think she was 17, versus like a 6'1", like farmer strong guy, and that's completely normal for them. They do mixed fights all the time because they're like, it's a performance, it's safe. Why not? But it was so weird because you could see them whilst performing, but working together. It is an amazing thing to watch from an improv brain going, oh, I see what you've... It's just yes and supporting, yes and supporting, yes and supporting, and then someone gets hit on the face a bit. So it's like a bad improv gig, but good.
I saw there's a YouTube video about things to look out for, like tells in wrestling, about if the referee won't normally look at the shoulders of a pin, they'll look into the eyes of the person on the floor to see if, like, I'm ready, like, I'm ready, the pin's happening, we're on, and then it's like there's all these sort of little tells.
There's certain like holds, aren't there, where it's like that's when you can have a little whisper to each other, like, let's do this thing now.
Oh, I've got a great idea. I saw a stepladder out there.
I'm gonna hit you with this stepladder. All right.
What I like is after every big bump, the ref will always go over and you'll see them holding hands, and that's just the wrestler squeezing the ref's hand, and if he squeezes it, he's fine. So even after like a huge hit, where they could be like, fucked. He's like, I've squeezed your hand. This is on me. We're carrying on. You're like, okie dokie. You literally have no legs, but fine.
See, I used to go
It's a
to
flesh wound.
TNA.
That's Mick Foley. That's just Mick Foley in a nutshell.
Well,
I'm trying to carry on.
In the WWE, allegedly, they keep razor blades in their boots, don't they?
Yeah.
So when they're supposed to
Now
start
PG-12.
like showing blood, they chip a bit of their eyebrow or something.
Yeah, they wear it in their flat caps, don't they?
Yeah.
And then before the boxing matches.
In their flat.
Mikey, that's just for you. Just for you.
We're back on Peaky Blinders.
That's if Chaz and Dave have like a rowdy audience.
But I went to a TNA show and we were ringside, and there's a wrestler called TNA, yeah.
Total non-stop
TNA.
Non-stop action.
But then it might be
what I think of when I hear TNA.
But there's a wrestler called, I'm sure it's Chris Melendez, and he has a prosthetic leg. And he came down to the ring and was like running his hands down to the crowd. Well, we were right by the ring, so we put our hands out, obviously, because I want a high five. Well, he got to like us, and then it must have been like the last little bit. So he over exaggerated the slap, and he caught my hand, and I am on TV going, very good. Yeah, so that is my claim to fame.
Wow.
Got on TV writhing in agony because I'm pretty sure Chris Melendez has broken my hand.
If you'd gone with like a prosthetic hand or like a mannequin hand,
and it went flying off,
and then he got really hard at the end, and it came off and was
like, it is true. They do sometimes conceal razor blades. Yes.
Yeah.
Have you just googled that?
No.
They don't.
No, yeah, and because like the skin's really thin on your forehead, isn't it? So it bleeds more.
It used to be a mark of in ECW and in WWE in the 90s. It was like a mark, and the noughties, like during the Attitude Era, it was like a mark of you're made it. You're now like a hardcore guy if you blooded. And then New Jack nearly killed a man.
There's a wrestler. Big guy. I think he's like. I'm certain he's retired now. I think he's like in his 60s, and he's bald and he's genuinely got grooves in his forehead.
New Jack.
And he can put coins in the grooves in his head. And that was made by constantly cutting his head.
He's the subject of a really interesting, and by interesting I mean Vice like documentary, because you watch him and go, because he starts off as a wrestler. Admittedly, his whole life was terrible beforehand. He becomes a wrestler, and then by the end he's like doing like really little tiny shit gigs in like Texas and Florida, and he stabs a guy nearly to death in the ring because he's hardcore, and that's wrestling. ECW's great. ECW's great.
It's a lot of head. Sorry, Adam.
No, it's just like ECW was great, but what it really did was give a lot of properly mentally psychopathic people a chance to get angry at each other. And like, what we're doing today? I'm gonna throw you off this 30-foot high tower onto nothing. Why? Because we're on the Sci-Fi Channel at 1 a.m. That's why.
I don't want to take the adrenaline too far, guys. But those two snooker semi-finals.
Those last frames though. At one point, I genuinely nearly dropped an apple I was eating. It was that tense.
I wonder where that sentence was going.
It was so tense. I had connectivity issues.
The chat's been going a bit wild, actually. John, I do remember when this gig happened, actually. He's put, as a theatre worker, has been in a situation where a comedian decided to climb on things unexpectedly. Please don't. It causes a large amount of panic in the tech box. I do remember them talking about this. I wasn't at the gig, but a comedian decided that he was... so if you've been in the Arena Theatre in Wolverhampton, which I think we all have...
Wolverhampton?
He was in the main house climbing up onto the balcony.
Oh no, don't do that.
I think a few people panicked.
Who was it?
I can't remember who he was.
Was it Pat Monahan?
I don't know. John, if you can remember who he was.
I really miss that balcony.
Yeah.
John,
Yeah.
John, if you go in, can you give it a kiss for me?
Lick all of it for him.
Not sure that licking thing is the right thing to do in a
Yeah,
pandemic.
yeah.
But Mikey's requested it.
Oh, sorry. John's corrected the story. He says, no, this was the guy who tried to hang himself in the Tilston.
We've all had bad gigs. But come on.
I mean, I was an audience member. That was a really bad.
Wait, was the audience member who tried to kill himself? This is a terrible show.
We've been to some odd gigs, Rob. I'm thinking Bentage at McCundleth was amazing. But imagine if a comedian tried to hang himself. Oh, Bentage, he was the first year we went to see him. It ended.
Is that the one on the boat?
On the what?
Because
Mahuntleth.
Yeah, Mahuntleth there's a comedy club on the boat, isn't there, in the middle of the estuary?
They've got all sorts. Yeah, there's like there's a comedy.
One in a sweet shop and
yeah, there's good in a sweet shop.
Then a mine.
Yeah,
fucking love it.
So good.
Rob couldn't give a shit.
First year we saw him, the end of the show, had him say to the front two rows, what I want you to do is take your shoe off and throw it at me while insulting me.
What?
Odd kink, but okay.
Right? So, and we all did it. And then
Did you say, your jacket is...
And then he picked up all the shoes, put them all in a suitcase, and just walked out with them.
No!
And he was, yes!
Oh my God!
And then the second year we saw him, you imagine you go in and it's...
No one sat on the front row because they've all been there before.
No, it's
I know your game.
We've got all these seats set up. We go in, sit down. He gets us all to stand up. Oh, I'm getting connection problems, so fingers crossed.
You're fine.
He gets us all stood up, moves all, gets us... Oh,
You did a better diet, Dave.
Gets us to move all our coats and bags to the side of the room. Gets us to move all the chairs to the side of the room. Gets us to break into 4 armies. Right?
Design a flag.
Design a flag. Design a uniform. Design face paint. And we all had to face paint each other. And then we had a massive game of death ball, murder ball in the. And then when that finished, we reassembled the room.
Trip ever.
I was going to say the venue staff would have been like, what the fuck?
Reassembled the room and walked out, and it was amazing because you'd all got these marks on your face from the war paint.
It was like the mousetrap.
Yeah. For the next day,
You could tell no one what happened during the comedy show.
You're walking around McCundleth and you'll see someone with a bit of war paint on them, and you'll go.
It was we're in the same.
You had a wash. Yeah.
Me and you.
We were there. We were there.
Maybe he just forgot all of his jokes and went, I'll improvise.
Like a supply teacher.
Yeah, we're going to do games.
Just like a teacher. I've never improvised a lesson before. Right, guys, we're going to play the alphabet game.
What?
Right, Sleeping Lions
The
it
only
is
thing I
then.
know called the only thing I know called murder ball is wheelchair rugby.
They call that murder ball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know where he got all those.
Is that what you're playing? Like
It's like dodgeball, isn't it?
Opens a
got
cupboard.
from my house.
Look what I've stolen from the last gig.
I knew
First it was shoes.
I knew I was missing a few.
It was when he it was when he revealed a massive inflatable like beach ball that like where that suddenly appeared from. I don't know where it was hidden, but there was a beach ball, and it was just sort of a keep it in the air without using your feet, or I don't know what it was. Keep it in the air somehow. That sort of game.
Volleyball.
Also,
I'm half expecting like next year's his show next year to be everyone building a giant wicker man. At the end, he puts one person in it, and then it's ritualistically burn him alive.
At the end, he puts a suitcase full of everyone's shoes in there, and then sets
And
it
they
on
throw
fire.
balls at it.
Yeah.
They're going to build a Trojan horse and invade Aberystwyth. That's what they're going to do.
No one
Be a
wants
good
to
harvest.
invade Aberystwyth.
So,
Yeah, on the plus side.
I'm sort of a bit intrigued by what a deflated beach ball looks like.
Sad.
Is a beach ball if it's deflated?
yes.
Oh,
Yeah, but it's not serving the purpose of ball, so you can't really call
But
it a ball.
a deflated football is still a ball.
Like, is an empty yogurt pot still a yogurt
A
pot?
yogurt bar.
Yeah,
Because
but
it
it's just
thinks
a pot.
Oh,
Yeah.
Aristotelian philosophy!
so,
I feel like we're all in Rob's party car right now.
I'm taking it. I'm taking it.
when Rob said inflated beach ball, that sort of threw me a bit over.
It took you out of the moment. I can't listen to any more of this.
Thought I'd seen Mike glaze
I don't think
over.
about the physics of this.
There's at least one unnecessary word there. I think the significance of saying that it was inflated was that it was hidden whilst having been inflated.
Yeah,
somehow.
like where was it hidden if it was?
It's not like he revealed it and then said, "One of you blow that up." Cheers, mate. Came here to do me aerobics. No.
What?
That would be a yoga ball.
Did you just have a stroke?
I knew what I meant. Couldn't find the words.
It's fine. Earlier, I forgot the word for puppy and said, "Can I see your dog, baby?"
That's unacceptable.
Can I see your cat, child?
It's accurate.
My cat child is asleep right now, and he's the most adorable thing ever.
Oh.
Which one? Because you've just said that one is more adorable than the other one, and that's rude.
Well, no, hang on. By the way, Easter egg's still there.
It's September.
Oh, there he is.
There he is. Hey,
Hi,
Milo.
Milo.
Oh, hey, Milo. He's not. He had the snip. He's not realised yet.
Oh.
I'm waiting for the first time, like, he gives himself a clean, then goes, hang on a second.
This didn't take me as long as it normally does.
Yeah.
Pixie brought in her first bird today, and I'm really proud of her.
Oh,
She's-
she
so
thinks you're useless.
But more
Congratulations.
than that, for 3 years, she's been a house cat. And the last month, she started going out. So in 1 month, she's gone from being scared of the outdoors to killing it all. So I'm quite proud of her.
Xena warrior princess. I bring you birds because you clearly don't know how to do it yourself. That's what cats do. People think it's a present. It's not. It's because cats think that they've never seen you hunt, so they think you don't know how to do it. So they're like, you're clearly useless. I'll go get it. It's fine. You stay here and watch some TV. And then they come back later.
The way you described it made it sound like Pixie was really criticizing my pulling technique. You can't get birds. I brought one for you. It's dead. Deal with that. Oh, that's horrible. No.
Your cat playing wingman to you.
In a really weird way.
I'll take it.
Mike
Oh, you
compliment
them. I see.
That was good. Rob can come again. We've decided.
You compliment them and let them have their own ideas, Adam, and they'll love you forever.
What? You don't neg them? What?
What?
But I read all those books about how to hit girls, and it
That was
Yes.
That was a really good suggestion, Steph. Well done.
Well done, sweetheart. Well done. Haven't you got a kitchen to be in?
For a woman, you are
There
really
you go.
bright.
Well done. Well done.
For a crazy
I'll go
person, you
make a
don't drool
sandwich.
too much.
So, I know it's really not on to explain or apologise for a joke, and you should just leave it hanging out there. But I really can't let that stop. I'm not way too feminist a man to leave.
It's not that you're feminist. It's just I could kick your ass. That's all it is.
I'm a fucking feminist. I know you can kick my ass, but I am a feminist.
The last 2
I'm
minutes.
not afraid of you. You're on a TV.
One of the things I've always
You're
loved...
only this big. I can squish you. Squishy, squishy, squishy.
One of the things I've always loved about Rob's comedy, and he's always done this since I've known him, he'll go dark for the joke and then immediately apologise.
Can you please define go dark for a joke? Because that is frowned upon.
Oh, yeah, with the... I did that a couple of times.
You see, he's going to
It was in the
apologise in a
90s.
minute.
It was okay.
He'll
It was
apologise.
okay. If it's okay for Justin Trudeau.
You see, he's
If
going
it's
Captain
okay
Canada
for Bill
decided to do
Cosby. If it...
It's oh fucking hell.
So sorry, guys.
See what I mean? I was just waiting. It's like, it's coming. I know it's coming.
You just have a complex where you need to say sorry, but even when you're not in the wrong. I'm sorry for apologising. I'm sorry for saying sorry so much. It must be very annoying. I'm so sorry.
Oh, God.
Rob's too British for his own good.
Yeah.
Oh,
The tea bag.
Don't ever shout that without context. Don't go up to a woman waving your wallet going, a tea bag, a tea bag.
Rob, I've just realised I've got a story about a festival and weed, and you were there.
Do you need to
But he
chat
smelled
up just to
never
make
seen
sure?
a drug before.
Right.
I don't imagine that I participated. What with that being illegal and that?
You didn't participate. It's quite funny, actually.
Did you apologise for doing it anyway?
Probably, almost certainly.
We had-
Is this ethically sourced or
Me and Rob
organic?
me and Rob had a gig at the Brentwood Beer and Music Festival.
Oh, that's peak career, that is.
Right, so we were
Oh
doing.
yeah, we were on the
Yeah.
way up.
So
You
bear
do
in
it
mind-
twice, man. You do it twice.
bearing in mind,
And I'm booked in for 2021.
I'm coming back, Brentwood.
bearing in mind, we were doing comedy and it was a beer and music festival.
Oh, so you're ignored.
Wow.
It was an uphill struggle, as I
It
recall.
was, yeah.
It's either you're ignored or they decided to all help you with your comedy.
Oh,
Oh, there was a lot of that.
It was character building, is what it was.
Oh shit, that bad.
But it's the first time I'd ever been backstage at a festival. And it was things like, not only were the toilets clean, they had like art in them.
That's a festival.
Bloody hell.
Festival.
Someone had
people
drawn in
provided you
crayon
with
on the inside of the
water.
toilet.
Yeah, we got
What?
given vouchers for free beer and free food. So
Was
there's
that
a
even
big
toilet paper?
kind of tent
Yep.
at the back with all this nice wicker furniture knocking around. And there was
There
like,
were hookahs and there was
can I just right? I was
Was there a
massive
good
carpets.
harvest? I don't-
this story begins.
Massive car.
Yeah,
Was
there
there a
was
plant?
carpets. It was like all festivals should be like this, and he's like, "Oh, I'm backstage. That's why it's a lot more comfortable."
They are all like this, but I am a pleb.
Yeah. I need a decent toilet when I go anywhere now. It's, you know what I mean.
There's the Tinder bio.
I'm so pleased we've reached this point.
I'm a 47-year-old man.
I'm a man who appreciates the finer things in life. Decent toilets.
End of list.
Massive carpets.
This
I like a good toilet. I need a good toilet, but I should be saying.
This story begins.
All right, she'll have connection issues.
62 many. This story begins. I'm eating a muffin because they've got free muffins. So I'm
Jesus.
What sort of festival is
I
this?
know.
So fancy.
So I'm like
Well.
free muffins. I'm in there. So
Did you go to a festival or a farmer's market?
free muffins.
This is like the Waitrose Festival. Right?
This is the time that you met George Harrison, isn't it? Where did you get that muffin?
Well.
Would you like a free muffin?
Well, you say George Harrison. A guy sits next to me,
Oh God.
right? I had to ask Rob later who this guy was, partly because Rob made sure he was at the front when this guy was on stage. I didn't even know who it was.
Was it George Ezra?
Just George Ezra, yeah.
No,
George
it was,
Ezra, yeah.
it was Martin Morris, the lead singer of the Bluetones. Yep.
And what of it?
Right.
Did you ask him what he wanted as well, Rob? Are you ready? Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Yes, Mark Morris of the Bluetones.
Mr. Mark Morris of the Bluetones to you.
Mark Morris of the Bluetones.
I should collect an audience survey. Hands up, who is ready?
Mark Morris.
Of the Bluetones.
Mark Morris of the Bluetones.
Mr. Mark Morris.
Mr.
Mark Morris.
First of Mr. Mark Morris.
Of the Bluetones.
Of the Bluetones. Sits down.
Mr. of the Bluetones.
Now, what a lot of people don't know is that he had a kid and he became a rapper who returned the Mac.
Oh, God.
Mark Morris
then went to jail.
Mark Morris's son.
Not of the Bluetones.
It's a family surname, and we'll keep it forever. Mark Morris of the Bluetones.
Of the Bluetones.
It stands for of the Bluetones.
Mark Morris of the Bluetones sits down next to me. I think it's in his autobiography. I'm not sure.
I hope so.
Sits down next to me and goes, "Where did you get that muffin?" Right?
Give me your muffin.
I've
You're
heard better Chapel lines.
I didn't know who he was, so I'm like,
they're
over there. They're over there. He went, "Oh, I'll get one in a bit." I says, "Nah, I'll get you one, because what I could do is get you one, and then use that as an excuse to get me another one." And he's like, "All right." So I went over and I got him this muffin, gave it to him. I'm eating the muffin. He's obviously saving his muffin for later. I'm on my second muffin.
That is my favourite euphemism. That is now my new favourite of all time. I'm saving my muffin for later. Good day. It's definitely like a middle class euphemism for your son is gay. No, he's saving his muffin for later.
No, Rupert, yes. He's saving his muffin for later.
He's the sort of person who saves his muffin for later.
He puts it on the other side as well. He puts his bins out on the wrong day. He enjoys the taste of penis. Wait, that's
but
not.
You said the quiet part out loud.
Sorry.
Anyway.
Oh dear.
Mark Morris of the Bluetones.
So Mark Morris of the Bluetones is saving his muffin. Mark Morris of the Bluetones is saving his muffin for later. Yeah.
And then
but you have eaten 2 muffins.
No, I've eaten one muffin.
That whole sentence sounds like something you say to a spy. Sit down,
Mark Morris of the Bluetones.
Mr. Mark Morris of the Bluetones saves his muffin for later.
It
sounds like a vocal warm-up. You'd be there like, Mr. Mark Morris of the Bluetones is saving his muffin for later.
I know what we call in our tour.
Saving the muffin for later tour 2021.
Saving his muffin for later.
Just on the rider, it's just going to be muffins.
+1 for later.
But yeah, let's put on a saucer by the chimney to wait for Mark Morris to come down. Mr. Mark Morris.
Mr. Mark Morris of the Bluetones.
At this point, Mr. Mark
Dave,
Morris.
you had a story apparently.
At this point, Mr. Mark Morris of the Bluetones pulls out. You know those.
Oh, I hope it's like he's got a whole baguette and he starts eating it from one end.
I didn't hear you say that he'd gone in.
They become very close friends very quickly.
Do you want to fucking hear this story or not?
Like, honestly, Dave, no matter what this story is, it's not as funny as what we're creating. About muffins.
Dave, come on, I want to hear what happens with Mr. Mark Morris of the Bluetones.
No.
Who saves his muffin for later?
Was it a bitter?
And then pulls out of Dave.
Right, no, you know those Tupperware boxes that are about that big? Yeah.
Don't tell me you put the muffin in it.
No, he had no room to put the muffin in.
Oh.
What was in it?
It was full of weed.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like pasta salad.
Which anybody who remembers the start of this story
it's going to need
would have known.
considerably more.
That's a weed festival story. What was in the? What was in the
Chekhov's joint.
Chekhov's joint.
What was in the Tupperware? The suspense is killing me.
Who could have
I thought
predicted
it was going to
this?
be like full of coleslaw, and he just starts spooning it.
Into his muffin.
Oh,
No one will ever believe you.
He then proceeded to roll loads of joints, at which point all these people started gathering around, obviously thinking, get a free joint off Mark Morris of the Bluetones.
Mr. Morris.
He rolls all these joints. He's talking to me because I'm the guy with the muffins. You know what I mean?
The muffin man.
The muffin man. Oh, that's so sad. The muffin man.
well, she's married to the Muffin Man.
The muffin man.
The Muffin Man!
Oh, holy crap.
I'm sorry, Rob. Rob, they're usually more professional than you.
No, we're not.
not.
Don't even fucking pretend.
I don't.
Stop showing off in front of the kids.
Yeah,
don't
stop
know.
showing off in front of your new friend, Rob.
I don't know what it is about my conduct so far that makes you think I don't like Giddy.
I believe him just Shrek.
And Steph, remember this. This is recorded and it has your real name attached. Your real name.
Your real name.
Oh.
Don't worry, John's clipped it, so.
Oh dear. I'll put it on my reel.
What
This will work for
happened?
Grinder. Just link it. Just link it in your bio. This section, this clip.
He basically just rolled all these joints, put them back in his box for later. Went off
Classic
with his
Mr. Mark
Also,
Morris.
his muffin.
That's what the
later.
muffin-
went off with his muffin. Next thing I know, he's on stage and Rob's at the front going, "Way!" And I'm like,
Going, yes, Mr. Mark Morris and the Bluetones.
yeah, Rob? Who's that? It's like, it's Mr. Mark Morris of the Bluetones. I'm like, oh, they did that. And then he had to remind me of the song that they did. And I'm like, oh yeah, that one. And I don't mean to diss Mark Morris. I was just not a kind of, you know what I mean? Sorry.
Mr. Mark Morris.
I don't think I jumped up and down.
You diss him when you don't address him by his proper title.
Well, you may not have jumped up and down. You were chuffed. You were a happy man.
It was like,
You were
it's called
chuffed.
Steve.
You also knew who Dodgy were. I mean,
Yeah.
you like knew exactly what they looked like, and I know the one song that they had the hit for.
I like Three Piece Suite as an album, and I'm also not ashamed to say that.
No, and that's cool. But even when Dodgy,
I like Nine Inch Nails. I'm a cool kid.
even when Dodgy were at the top of their game, I did not know what any of them looked like. So the fact that you could 20 years afterwards recognise that these three middle-aged blokes were all from Dodgy, I was kind of impressed.
I mean, was it 20 years?
Was it? I think it might have been.
It wouldn't have been 20. Would it have been 20 years?
What's brilliant about this is it's now turned into a stream where two men have a live existential crisis.
Which is what most podcasts are.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
That's what we've
I'm
been
trying to
having
think
for
what
the
it
past
sounds
many
like.
weeks.
this is.
I've really forgotten what any Bluetone songs sound like. It's like I know the name of one. I'm
Rob.
like, what does it sound like?
Come on, Rob.
Where did you go when things...
That one.
Yep, that's
Miss
it's back in my head now.
And then it's been, you know what? It's probably been as long since I've listened to any. So there was like Custom Rug, and there was a Marblehead Johnson, which was the name of Bill Hicks's band, wasn't it? As we all know.
Yes.
And
I was obsessed with Bill Hicks back in the day.
Yeah, did you know that?
With
Is that
who?
right? That's right. Yeah.
It feels right in my mind. Yeah,
It feels right.
feels right. It feels correct.
I feel like
Mikey,
we all have very different music tastes to all of you.
What
Rob
were
and
you...
I have met 3 times now. I'm so pleased that this is where my life is. Sometimes you have to pinch yourself.
Oh, nice.
Mark Morris now
What,
makes
you've
acid
lived-
jazz.
You've lived as long as you have, and you've managed to avoid meeting me more than 3 times.
What a thrill!
That's what you meant. That's what he meant.
I'm on number 5.
Yay!
I'm frankly furious about it.
I got 5. I got 5 over here. 5 over here. 5 over here. Anyone give some 5?
The first time we met, a lady heckled a poetry gig. Remember?
What did she say?
How can you heckle poetry?
Just loudly go.
That wasn't a rhyming clause.
She walked in halfway through, and I think she'd had a bit to drink, and was just really happy to be there.
Really
She
feeling
sort
it.
of run in the way a 12-year-old does into like a school disco, like woo!
I love poetry.
Everyone else is just like,
Just drinking Panda
That's
Pops
how
and
I
eating
want
crisps.
to enter every word.
in those iron brew bars.
Ooh,
I
banging.
don't get any of these jokes. None of them are funny. I don't get it.
You missed out on
There's a
the
thing
music
at,
school
like-
discos.
There's a thing
If
at
you'd
like
have listened to
wanky
last
poetry
week, Rob,
gigs. Yeah.
you'd have known. Somebody hasn't done their research.
Fucking hell, Mikey.
Me? I haven't done my
Rob.
research.
I'm
Actually,
joking.
no. It's fair. It's just that I'm getting criticised for that a lot recently. I went for a job.
Oh, no.
I went for a job, and I got feedback for why I did. I went for a job, and there were many applicants apparently, but they only had 2 people for interview. But there were plenty of applicants apparently.
I mean, they could be right. It's just the rest of them were crap.
and they were. We did the whole interview and that, and then I couldn't do the job staying on my head. I've got 10 years experience doing the job. I couldn't
Perhaps
do
that's
it.
why they didn't want you. They just want you sat at on a chair like. In fact,
It'd cost
on your
too
head
much.
while doing the job would be
It'd-
very distracting for the rest of the employees.
It'd cost too much to get the laptop, the computer station turned upside down as well. So, it's too.
health and safety
Just
was
special
allowing.
chairs, yeah.
Good. So anyway, I didn't get
PC
it.
gone mad.
And they called me to say, we're going to go with the other applicant. And I was like, do you want any feedback? And I was like, yeah, okay, I'd like some feedback. And they said, oh, you hadn't done your research. You didn't know anything about our college. And I was like, and I started to laugh at this, which I think annoyed them. But I didn't get the job, so fuck them. No, I mean, I don't know what they wanted from me. Like, do they think that me knowing the history of their college was going to help me do the job better?
Like, surely you learn that after you get the job, so you know you're not wasting
the
your
job-
time.
Was the job as the college historian? Because I
What's the
feel like
point?
that would have
Oh
been
yeah, yeah.
Like, in what year we founded and which famous scientist founded us? You have 35 seconds to go.
I don't know. Is this important? I don't know. I see myself for 5 years knowing that information.
Oh, I hate that question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Yeah.
Hopefully, a billionaire, so I don't have to work here anymore.
I always say this. I go, sat where you are, and they're always like, oh, he has ambition and he's a dickhead. He'll be perfect for sale.
I'm impressed, but slightly threatened.
Remember at school having to write personal statements?
Yeah.
Where, like,
I am lovely.
like, where do you see yourself in 10 years? I don't know, because nobody would have predicted a fucking pandemic. That, like, in hindsight, that would have been a perfect answer.
The best like interview, I think, like feedback I ever got. Like before I even went in, I was on the phone to the recruiter. Went, remember when you go in, just have a look at all the. They'll have like a load of magazines in the reception. Just read them because they will always be there because they're roughly about what you're going to be interviewed for. And so I went in read the first one, and went, all right, cool. And they asked me entirely questions based on the one article I read, and I was like, I feel like a wizard, or like I felt like a guy who cheated on his A levels and then got to university and was like, oh no, what the fuck is math?
It would have been really great if they'd have quizzed you on the crossword.
What was it?
45 down.
Deceit. Yes, you have been, haven't you?
I have a past as a that sounds way more mysterious than
I have a past. Zorro.
What I mean is I have a past as an electrician, right? I've got a past as an electrician, and I obviously learned those particular sets of skills at a college, and one of the exams you've got to pass is the inspection. is the inspection and testing, and as part of the inspection and testing, you've got to do this multiple choice exam before another exam. But the inspection testing is the multiple choice one is quite important. So anyway, the morning of the day of the exam, we were doing a mock exam, and it's like, yeah, okay, cool, guys, we're going to go through this one more time. And there was a few in our class that were like, can't be arsed with this. I'm going to the pub before the exam. I can't be arsed with this. So they all just got up at like half of our group. And then we all did this exam and we went through the answers and they checked it all off and everything. And then we had a short break and then the exam happened. And barring a few different numbers, it was the exact same paper.
Oh my God.
Yes.
So everybody that stayed nailed it. And the guys that fucked off to the pub were all like, which is what I think the definition of Schadenfreude should be.
Justice was served.
Yeah.
I was once told to set a 50 question exam. It was for new people who wanted to join the theatre tech group I was part of. And so what I did, it was every single question was A, B, C, D, and I set all of them as B apart from 2. All of them. And the number of people who were like, I know this question, but there's been 8 B's in a row. They can't.
Oh, that's a whole level of evil.
I'll put it as you want confident people. And you also want easily manipulatable people.
You're getting slated in the chat, just so you know.
Yeah, I know what I did, and I'm only a little bit. And
then, like Rob, you're not apologetic.
And also,
I quite like that. Right is right, isn't it?
See, yep. Yep, good. Yep.
Question if that's the right answer.
You'd have still said sorry once the test was done.
Oh, I afterwards we took them all to the pub.
Yeah,
and like you're all in.
I might have freaked you out by making them all B's.
I literally did that afterwards. We took them all to the pub and bought them all a drink. You're all coming in because we all get on with you. That was more important than anything else.
It was.
Yeah. See, now I seem like a lovely person.
My first lesson.
And in the end, it was all a dream.
And then I got off the bus.
My first lesson in job interviews was multiple choice because I went to, and I was like 16, went for a job interview and they gave everyone a multiple choice test. And we were all in this room, all doing this test. And we got near the end and they called time. And I glanced over and I saw a woman who had 8 or 9 questions still to go. Just go and just all D's or whatever it was. And I didn't think to do that. It was obviously something that, and I thought we could have been dead on. We could have been the same, or I could have been just in front of her. But just because I hadn't been told by someone at school that a multiple choice, if you get to the end, tick them because you might get them, you might not.
Fill it in. Yeah.
She might end up with 1 point higher and get the interview over me, and it was pure luck. You know what I mean? So, and it was at 16 going, this is all bullshit, isn't it? It's all bullshit.
When I was when I worked in sales, my manager once went,
unless you get penalised for wrong answers.
Yeah.
Which you don't, do you?
When I was in sales, my manager went. He had about 30 people apply for a job, and he took half of them. And went, no, without looking. I went, I don't want unlucky people. Simple. And you're like, oh, that's cruel. No. But at the same time, I respect that. I don't. He was a lovely man, and that was the only time I ever went. But it was like his reasoning behind it makes sense.
I was in a
Okay,
shop.
let's hear it.
No, it doesn't make sense at all. I was in my head. I was like, because you need luck in sales. They went, no, you just need to be a dick. And I apologize.
So well.
I did really, really well at cold calling. I am sad to say, but it was cold calling businesses, and therefore I didn't give a fuck.
Oh well, there you go.
Yeah.
I was in a shop in Wolverhampton. Oh, go on, Rob.
No, I was just going to say, if sorry, Dave. If
See, he can't help himself, can he?
if what he's not accounting for there is his own his own luck, because if he hires somebody and they're shit, he's thinking, but unlucky people. No, I got rid of those people.
Oh no, he was very good at it.
Yeah, what if he is contaminating the luck with his own bad luck?
He was also very, very good at it.
So he's unlucky. He's unlucky, so he hires bad people with his bad luck.
Yeah.
He was very good at weeding out shit CVs during that process.
Right.
So, do you know what? I will.
Right.
I'll ask him.
Right.
I'll ask him.
Don't ask him.
I was in a shop.
I sort of feel quite similar now to when I did the first time I watched Inception. So that's fun.
We're just like,
Are you phoning him?
Yeah.
So when he answers, you're going to put it on speaker?
When he answers, Adam, can you ask him if he accounted for his own bad luck?
Just ask him if he feels lucky.
He didn't pick up. I'll message him.
Okay.
Well, how unlucky for him not to pick up.
I mean, my phone's currently saying it's 1:30 in the morning, so I'm not trusting anything my phone is currently doing.
I think you need a new phone.
What country are you currently in?
Oh no, it's because my phone batteries are like 2%, and it always goes like, it's early in the morning.
It's like I haven't got enough energy to know what time it is.
It always sort of guesses. Like the second you take it off and put it into airplane mode to save battery, it's like, oh, that means the time is between now and then. Just use a watch. Airplane time.
International time. It means nothing.
And let's face it, in an airport, time has no meaning.
My favourite ever moment in an airport was when I was doing a work trip from Birmingham to somewhere in Germany, and my flight was at 9:10, and I went in, and the airport had a spoons. I was like, well, I might as well. I watched the end of the cricket and just got slowly drunk at 7 a.m. I went, who's paying for this? The work card is. I'm leaving in a month. I couldn't give a shit.
I like the idea that a low battery airplane mode phone is basically going, International Walters. You can do whatever you want. Have fun, guys.
Kill a man. Just push him overboard. Do it. It's fine.
There's no jurisdiction here. Who are the Sky Police?
I did say International Walters then.
All of the many international.
That's like a group of spies all called Walter.
Walter.
Yeah, that's a screenplay. That's another screenplay for Death Drives Peugeot. Isn't it? Another one of those.
Yeah, absolutely.
International Walters.
It's like Charlie's Angels and International Walters.
Sounds like a group of people who would definitely have their own theme tune.
Yes. Yeah. And they'd all dress in tweed.
Yeah. You get given it, like when you get given the Walter name as your initiation, you get your tweed and your pipe.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it was the working title of the Kingsman films.
Yeah.
In the background of every shot, so Walter Raleigh's like, good evening.
Just with a big ruff on.
Yeah, he was the original Walter. There's just a big portrait of them in like HQ. Or
because he
double
travelled
UQ,
all over
I
the
don't know.
world. That's why he's international.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
I
it.
feel like we've really started something.
Just really gonna
Yeah.
work on this screenplay.
Look, Adam's writing it down.
No, what I'm
No,
doing
he's
is I'm
getting
looking
his Tory thing out.
I'm looking at famous Walters to see if there's any with funny names. And so far, I'm like, Walter. Walter Zinks. Great name. Carry on.
Okay. He'd have been in the science department.
Yeah.
Hey.
Okay. Where do you reckon Walter von Seidelt's Kurtzbach would have been?
Oh, he was ammunitions. Most
I mean, he
definitely
was.
ammunitions.
He was a general for the German Wehrmacht during World War II.
Hey, go on, next Walter.
Next Walter?
I can do this.
Steph has done her research.
God damn.
I'll do the final one. Okay. Walter of Servigliano.
Or he'd be the one who teaches all the other Walters to use the art of seduction to lure their captor in.
Well, he was a Benedictine hermit, but yeah, sure, close enough.
That's what he wanted you to believe, and then he'd whip off that potato sack.
Although,
then,
reading on, he was an Italian monk, so yeah, he was a ladies' man. Yep.
And also knew which wine to have with meal.
Oh, because you can have any
You
of
can
them. 'Cause
blend
it's all
in
the
when
body
you're-
of Christ.
So
This
we have
feels like that bit.
Is the body of Christ a white meat or a red meat?
Go spend too much fish and bread.
It's whatever
5
it is,
loaves
it's
to
not
be
kosher.
exact.
This feels like that bit in every drama school audition where like it's like the drama game fit, like and it's just like everyone doing improv because they don't really know what to do.
Essentially, we're playing the cherries, but there is no chair.
How could we do Zip Zap Boring? It would be the worst.
Oh,
Oh,
crikey.
dear.
Right. 6 is definitely too
Oh,
much.
that's-
Where's Rob gone?
It's disappearing.
What was having a rave?
We've been going hour and a half, so I reckon we could call it quits there. There's loads more we could have gone on with.
Hang on, we do one story. Is that what the show is?
No. Usually we do. No, usually we do 5, but because we had a guest on, Rob, it was for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Oh, I wish I'd have known that. I'd have thought of a better story. I don't mean that. I had every faith that it was that something would come out of your collective minds in terms of the meandering and the
and something.
We rely on that every week.
Mr. Mark Morris.
Yeah.
Mr. Mark Morris.
of the Bluetones.
Who's saving his muffins for later. That came out.
What have we learned? He likes a muffin.
But he likes to save them for later.
If anything,
The
what's
last
going to come
week's
of this
show-
is Mr. Mark Morris is going to get in touch with us and go, please stop saying my name.
Stop saying.
Stop full naming me.
If he is,
Stop it.
imagine if that was like the way you summoned him.
We said it like 10 times. He was like, oh.
He's been blipping between our houses.
In a minute, someone's light's going to go off, and then when it comes on, he's behind you.
That is the best way to end this, isn't it?
Yeah.
That happens to us, and behind you, just George Ezra comes in for a hug.
Oh dear me. Oh God. 6 is too many. So
I was going to tell you my Glastonbury story, but it pales in insignificance, like after everything that's happened.
Well, you'll have to join us next week for that.
Yeah.
yes.
I need a story, don't I? Oh, crikey.
Next
time
week.
on Stories from the Spoke Room.
Next time.
I might get permission from my dad to tell a story.
Oh.
I do need permission from my dad.
Are you
Right.
a medieval princess?
Pardon?
I can't...
Is that the one that's going to get his statue pulled down?
I mean, potentially.
That's the day that Tom gets chucked in the harbour.
Do I just have to have this on like a hotkey?
No. It's not a Tory story. He just disgraces himself on many occasions. Tory story.
Oh yeah, I've also got a possible dad one as well, so we can make that the theme. We can make daddy issues the theme of next week's one.
What we need to do is save all these stories and do a Father's Day edition.
I will save it then. I'll save it.
I'll save it if you will.
Done.
Okay.
That does mean I need another story.
Yes, you do. Yes. The main light in my room has just gone off.
He's on his way.
It's Mr. Morris.
I was going to say, do you live in a public toilet that requires you to be moving all the time? Otherwise,
Where did Dave go? Mr. Mark Morris came for him.
If there is
The Bluetones.
if there is anyone from a police force watching, all these stories were, of course, made up.
Yes.
We don't know anyone who's
Yes.
gone anywhere near any illegal drugs.
I've never seen a drug.
No,
Except
I don't
for
even
Mr.
know
Mark.
what
Oh.
is the drug. What is
Fiction
I don't
for
know.
the benefit of entertainment.
it? Yeah.
Any similarity to real persons alive or imaginary?
Especially Mr. Mark Morris.
Mr.
and the
Mark
Bluetones.
Morris of the Bluetones.
There's going to be a knock at Mr. Mark Morris of the Bluetones' door in the morning. Go, excuse me, I think you'll find someone has baited you out on the internet for having a large Tupperware of marijuana.
I would
Mr. Mark
love
Morris, can we have a look in your tubs?
I'd love it if the police went around and went, "You were stealing muffins from a festival." I don't care about the weed.
Can we end, please? I've got hiccups again.
It's a sort of natural ticking
Can we have a
clock.
look in the tubs?
There's
Let
a
me
knock.
look in your tubs.
There's a knock on Mark Morris's door, and it's the woman from down the road with a Tupperware catalogue saying, "Don't fucking tell me you don't need some."
Yeah. Yeah.
Or there's a
Yeah, the
knock,
clean,
Mark,
easy woman.
look at Mark Morris of the Bluetones door, Mr. Mark Morris, and it's George Ezra, and he's like, he's mine now.
And they have a fight in the street, like Hugh Grant and Colin Firth.
That I would like to see.
And it's time for the Tory sign. And they fall into a fountain. And there it is.
Oh no, the slow reveal. That's the worst one.
You need to do both because remember the camera is reversed. There you go.
Is it a deveal when you take it out? Is it so you reveal and a deveal? But if it's a deveal, then that makes it an angel on the way in. An angel and a deveal. Sorry, I don't know.
Dear.
I don't know. It's late now.
Thanks,
That
Rob.
was
Reveal.
bad.
Is it, no, is it just a veal, surely? Because if it's a reveal, it's just a veal.
You veal it again.
Reveal
Yeah.
it again.
Yeah.
This is like,
Reveal? A veal.
Unveil. It's an
Reveal.
unveil.
Unveil.
Veal,
Deveal.
No, because
Reveal,
you
unveil.
unveil something to reveal.
Inveal?
In
I feel like we should stop
Anti-veal.
recording.
Unveil.
This language is stupid.
But
No, because you
ironically,
unveil.
but if you reveal something, you cover it up.
What have we just discovered? Because I feel like
I can never
Go
speak
to bed,
again.
please. I need to go to bed.
right. So Mike goes to bed. This time next week, we're doing 5 stories, probably about dads, probably about fucking semantics.
I always do a story with my dad in it.
There may be a member of the Bluetones. And a guest appearance of George Ezra.
From the chat, let Mikey sleep. Yes, we're keeping him up.
Yay!
Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a round of applause for Mr. Rob Kemp, ladies and gentlemen?
This was a team effort, guys.
Have you enjoyed your time on here, Rob?
I've had a lovely time. The last time I was part of the, I wasn't a part of, but last time I really got involved in the smoke room
was I was shouting out because David explained the concept to me, and I thought it was the audience who were allowed to shout out as well. So, so I was in the audience shouting out like, "This is what I think about that," and I came to the point where I was thinking, maybe nobody else is doing this. Maybe this isn't how it works.
It was good though.
The good thing
I'm glad
is, though, Rob,
my
because
gobshitery got me here.
because you know the kind of rules in a way, Rob. You knew when to shout out. The problem is most hecklers at gigs tend to be drunk. You, of course, were not drunk. You were stoned.
Stop saying that.
He's never seen a drug.
It's not cool, man. Not cool.
You were full of muffins.
That's what we're calling it now.
That is a great way.
So I'd had an extra large muffin.
Clip that, John. Right. So let's all wave goodbye to the camera as I stop the recording. Hey, bye,
Goodbye,
everyone.
the camera.
Bye.